What's up, SC Nation? Ramsey here. So last week I started talking about the skills pyramid, but I was taking a little bit too long, around 23 minutes or so. So this is the second part, in case you can tell by my outfit change. And if you haven't watched the first one, go back and watch the first one. I actually fixed the audio and re-uploaded the new version. The link is in the bottom or in the cards. So check that out, then come back and check out the rest of the pyramid. I will see you guys later. Now let's go a step further. We need to be able to whiteboard. This is something I took for granted when I was working as a network design engineer or as a sales engineer, where I'd get to visit the customer and we get to build these wild network diagrams, and it was just amazing. Now with the virtual world, and even though people might go back to the offices, some people might not. I'm gonna have to still leverage the technology, and it's getting harder with the virtual world. Last week, if you watch the video, which again I'll link somewhere on the cards, I tried to use the Lightboard methodology and I struggled quite a bit. I was using a tablet, and I was using one of these pens with a tip, and I couldn't write anything on it. So I ended up, instead of drawing by hand, I ended up writing. Like, I had a PowerPoint presentation and just typed whatever I wanted to type. So it wasn't easy. We're always trying to figure out ways. You can always buy a Huon drawing tablet. I don't know. I'll put a link in the description. Or you can buy an actual like Samsung Galaxy tablet or a Windows tablet or a Mac tablet and have their pens with it, which is a very expensive solution. But that's a skill that we're going to need to develop as we're working on more virtual opportunities where we don't get to meet the customers and whiteboard in person. That's really the reason why I'm using this video format. It's just a way for me to experiment and get better at finding a way to interactively present. I could just share a slide deck and have all this without camera, or I can use Zoom to do it. But tell me if this is better than using Zoom. I just want it to be more interactive, and I am still in the process of mastering all this. Like, I'm not a master. I know how to ask the right questions, but I'm not a master in it. I need to tweak it. Saying no is very hard for everybody, and I'm only getting better at it. Whiteboarding, I was great at whiteboarding in person, and now there's this new wrench, and we're trying to master getting better at all these skills, rebuilding the foundations of the pyramid that I'm trying to progress up. There is no end. Like, you don't just, oh, I know whiteboarding. Well, now you have to do it virtually. Good luck. And the beauty of whiteboarding in person was you'd be able to draw a diagram, and then you give the pen to the customers, like, hey, help me build this for you. Whereas right now, it's not, and that's kind of what we have to figure out. Enough about that, let's move on. Storytelling is kind of an important skill to have. I've told a couple of stories in this video. If you're doing a proper discovery, you might have to tell stories, to share stories, to get the customers to open up. While you're doing a demo, the demo is a story. The demo is the story of your customer winning, basically, in the end. The customer getting better at what they do, saving money, saving time, whatever it is. But these are all stories. If you're saying no, I share a story of how I didn't say no, and it led to a lost deal, or it led to a customer wasting a lot of time trying to do a proof of concept on their own without my help because we didn't have a plan. There are a lot of ways to use stories. There's your personal, we can have actually a video about the different types of stories. If you're interested, let me know below. Storytelling is an art, and the beauty of storytelling is you can practice it with almost anyone. You can practice it with a random stranger on the street. You can practice it with your significant other. You can practice it with your children, with your parents, with anybody. If you can keep their attention, you're doing something right. If they're bored and they want to talk, you're doing something wrong. So instant feedback loop, which is great. Now going up one level, we have objection handling. I had an interview with a gentleman by the name of Doug Brown, who wrote the book Win-Win Selling, and it's all about objection handling. And I would recommend it to sales engineers because, generally speaking, from what I've seen, sales engineers are not versed in objection handling. I mean, we talk technology, but when someone provides an objection against our technology, at least the SEs that I've seen tend to get defensive. They love the technology that they're selling, and they don't understand why the customer is not seeing it their way. The big thing about objection handling is being able to ask questions. Objection handling is not about convincing the customer or anything. It's about asking questions, maybe reframing it, as Patrick Pasang would say, trying to reframe the way they're thinking, trying to open it up to another way of thinking, another methodology. The whole point of objection handling is understanding what they're objecting to. Like, they may say, "Oh, I don't like your technology," but which part? Why don't they like it? Is there a hidden reason behind it? We're getting to the advanced levels of sales engineering and with negotiation, and I say this a lot. Every time you open your mouth, you're either adding value or removing value from the deal. As sales engineers, we tend to think that we have nothing to do with the negotiation. I'm just trying to answer the technical questions. But the way you answer technical questions can either add value or remove value. If they're concerned about something, you need to know why. You don't just address their question. Again, going back to objection handling, you need to understand why they're concerned about it. And if you can alleviate that and show them value of doing something one way over another, now you're making it easier for your account manager to do the negotiation later. So you might not be actively negotiating. You might not be anchoring and then providing different pricing to the customers, but you will be having conversations that will help the account manager or not help the account manager do the negotiations. If you go into a POC and you didn't do a great job showing them what the product will do, and for some reason they still go with you, maybe because the competitors didn't do a great job either, you might go down and fight over pricing at that point. Like, the lowest price wins because none of you showed me value, but I know I still need it. Keep that in mind when you're working. Every time you open your mouth, you're either adding value or removing value. Now we're moving on to social selling. The Social Sales Engineer by Patrick Pasang. I just mentioned him. He's been on the podcast as well. I'll link him. I'll link his episode in the cards here. I used to be able to go into my customers' sites and just walk around and tap customers on their shoulders. That's not going to happen again, because although some customers might go back to the office, they might not go back full time. So when I show up to see them, they might not be there. A lot of times they just don't answer emails. They don't want to set up times to meet. They're busy. But they do talk to you when you show up and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" So we need a way to reach them. We need a way to touch them. And that's what social selling is. You're touching them without physically going and touching them. You're helping them envision how what you're selling will actually help them, but you're making it as general as possible. I haven't started reading the book. I just got it yesterday, so I'm looking forward to dig in. But so Patrick is great at that. I also have a guest by the name of Boo Lam. His episode's coming out in a couple of weeks, so make sure you stay tuned for that and subscribe. I guess subscribe so you get notifications, hit the alert button, all that. But Boo Lam, he works for F5, and he's great at social selling, which help him stay involved with the customers. Check out his episode. I'm not going to go into too much more details here. And then we have the head of the pyramid, the tip of the pyramid, and that's closing. If you can work separately from your account manager and help close deals, again, you might not be the one doing the negotiation. You might not be the one asking for the PO. But if you walk out of a demo and that's it, we're done, we're going to buy from you, that is a great skill to have, and not everybody has that. And if you can achieve that level of mastery, and it might not happen with every demo, every proof of concept right away, there might still be negotiation because they have to go through procurement and who need 3 competitors, whatever. But if you can help close that, not technical close, actually closing the deal or getting it as close to your account manager getting the PO, that's a skill that not many people have. Let's not worry about that advanced topic. We might not be able to close a deal, but we can close a meeting. So if you're doing a discovery call and your account manager forgets to close next steps, you have to do that. Because generally speaking, after a demo, there's a proof of concept. But you have to have the ability to close the deal and set up the next one. I try not to leave a meeting without a next call scheduled and is on the calendar for both myself, my account managers, my customers, so that we're pushing the sale forward. If a customer says, "Oh, come back to me in a few months," you did not close the deal. There is no interest there. But if you tell them, like, "Hey, can we meet next Wednesday or in 2 weeks and discuss this part of that?" Or or maybe start talking about the proof of concept, or if you're in a discovery call, scheduling the demo. If you can do that, you're pushing the sale forward, and not many SEs have that capability. They either wait for their account managers to do that, or they just hope the customers say, like, hey, let's do a demo, let's do a proof of concept. That's the pyramid, 12 levels of the sales engineer skills pyramid. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Again, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you find that this video is useful for one person, share that with that one person. I wouldn't hold it against you if you share it with more, but start with one. And if there are any other topics, or if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment. I may not be able to answer the same day, but I usually do my best to answer every single question that comes up, whether it's in the comments directly or in another YouTube video. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You can follow We the SEs on LinkedIn as well. We the Sales Engineers. So that's it for today. I appreciate your time, and I will see you later.